This video was made possible by the people who support me on Patreon. In the United States, a peculiar phenomenon happens at the end of November. Two quote-unquote holidays happen back-to-back, Thanksgiving and Black Friday. The first, according to the dominant American narrative, is supposed to be all about family time, giving thanks, and sharing love, while the second stands for the opposite. But for many, these aren't holidays, especially if you're in the service industry working in the warehouses for Amazon, where mandatory overtime pits workers against the clock, forcing them to stay on their feet for 12 to 16 hours a day. This consumption-centric day of sales is rapidly approaching. So let's unpack the phenomenon that is Black Friday. What is it? Why do we focus so much on it? And is there an alternative? The term Black Friday began appearing in the 1960s, when Philadelphia police started to complain about the post-Thanksgiving shopping rush. Since then, the day after Thanksgiving has spiraled into a day of consumer mayhem. From Best Buy to Target, stores slash their prices on key items like TVs or toys to lure customers into their stores. The idea is that once people are in a store like Walmart, customers will not only get that $50 TV that they waited hours in line to buy, but they will also fill up their carts with toys, clothes, and holiday presents they never thought they needed. Black Friday is, after all, the beginning of the American consumer tradition that is the holidays, which, if we're talking about consumption, is really a euphemism for Christmas. But increasingly, the door-busting stampedes of the 2000s seem to be a thing of the past. In 2018, Black Friday in-person shopping was estimated to have dropped by 1% to as much as 7% since 2017. This is due to shoppers embracing browsing from the comfort of their own homes, particularly on Cyber Monday, which is the Monday following Black Friday, during which many online retailers have huge sales, comparable to the in-person prices on Black Friday. Cyber Monday brought in a total of $7.9 billion in sales, with that number predicted to balloon to $9.4 billion in 2019. So while the crowds of Black Friday might seem like they're thinning, they're not. In fact, they are actually doing the opposite. Black Friday deals have become more spread out into the days before Thanksgiving and the weeks after, which has led to a consistent rise in consumer spending and participation. But what's so bad about a day where companies slash their prices so that everyone can get their hands on the latest gadgets? Although some people may only be able to buy certain needed goods on Black Friday, much of what is pushed on consumers during Black Friday are unnecessary luxury goods, like the latest version of Amazon's smart speaker or giant TVs. In short, Black Friday encourages people to consume regardless of need, and this overconsumption mindset has serious consequences for both the environment and our society. In the case of the environment, Black Friday packaging and shipping have serious consequences. In 2018, there are 44.5 million online transactions during Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and Cyber Monday. And with the rise of online shopping, that number is only expected to grow. This means more wasteful packaging, more fuel burned in the transportation sector, and trucks and vans packing the streets to fulfill those 2-day shipping orders. Even after those 3 days, the holiday season means a massive boom in shipping. The United States Postal Service transported 900 million packages during the month between Thanksgiving and Christmas in 2018. And this demand for shipping is slowly adding to the emissions of the transportation sector, which now accounts for 29%, or the largest share of the United States' greenhouse gas emissions, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. Compounded with the issue of the waste generated from unwanted presents and cheaply made goods that wear out quickly or are meant to be thrown away after a few uses, the shopping sprees of Black Friday and Cyber Monday are pushing consumerism further and further into extremely dangerous territory for both our planet and for the workers who are pressured to fulfill orders and work long hours in retail stores. Black Friday and Cyber Monday also reflect and perpetuate serious social problems. The rise of needless consumption is the result of a capitalist desire for unfettered growth. This has resulted in valuing a person not on the way they care, their creativity, or the strength of their community, but instead on how many commodities they've accumulated. And as Noam Chomsky notes,
a huge part of the economy is devoted to trying to drive these things out of people's heads, to make you think that all you want is more commodities, and so you should go shopping instead of reading.
This thirst for more is caused by what Chomsky calls created wants, desires for useless objects created by advertisements that make us believe that if we purchase them, they'll make us better, more admirable, or more successful human beings. It also pushes consumers to ignore the ethical question of whether it's okay to shop at a company like Amazon that demands 12 or more hour days from its workers who are treated so poorly that one employee wrote that he felt like he was a disposable part of a machine. If he got injured, he would be thrown out and quickly replaced. Black Friday and Cyber Monday are allegedly good for people without much disposable income, but in fact, they contribute to the exploitation of working-class people. So while this structure is terrible for the well-being of people, communities, and the environment, it's certainly an excellent way for companies like Apple and Amazon to turn a profit. In short, the number one priority of a company that slashes its prices on Black Friday is not the pocketbook of its customers or the state of the world under climate change. Instead, it's quite simply selling more stuff to make more profits. So, can we escape Black Friday? I think yes, but Black Friday is merely a symptom of an ailing culture, not the cause. When we look at it that way, there are a variety of short and long-term fixes. Short-term harm reduction strategies look like buying less, boycotting unethical and environmentally destructive companies like Amazon, and embracing a mentality of repairing and caring for the materials that you do have. Essentially, you're trying to participate less in the harmful consumer culture in which we live. But because we still live in this culture, those are very difficult paths to follow. So, in addition to short-term individual-focused actions, what is really needed is greater participation in the complex and radical social movements for justice like the Sunrise Movement or Indigenous climate action that already exist. These organizations are challenging both our cultural values and the institutions that facilitate exploitation and overconsumption. They're just two of the many movements working on long-term systemic changes. Whether through restructuring companies so that they're community-owned and operated, or through true progressive climate action that funds decentralized green infrastructure, the arts, and dignified jobs, justice-oriented movements are trying to de-emphasize a constant drive for profits, and instead invest in supporting the people and places which they serve. Only when we create new modes of operating beyond a profit-centric model will we be able to form healthier cultural norms that attempt to foster what the holiday season is supposed to be about: an emphasis on care, interpersonal connection, and a strong relationship with place and the environment. Hey everyone, Charlie here. If you've been watching Our Changing Climate for a while, or just stumbled across this video and are wondering how you can help me make more videos, then consider supporting the show on Patreon. As an OCC patron, you'll gain early access to videos, special behind-the-scenes updates, as well as a members-only group chat. In addition, each month my supporters vote on an environmental group that I then donate a portion of my monthly revenue to. So if you want to support the channel or are feeling generous, head over to patreon.com/ourchangingclimate and become an OCC patron. If for whatever reason you're not interested or aren't financially able to, then no worries. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in 2 weeks.